everybody. So today is Sunday, that means it's time for family movie night. And this week we are covering one of the classic films in animation history. And of course that makes it special to my heart, and you can make an argument that this is more sort of significant than classic, but I think it holds up very well. Today we are talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was released in 1988, and it was directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it was produced by Steven Spielberg. And this is based on a novel, and it is a very, very, very clever take on the detective film noir story. I mean, many of the elements are from, you can almost see Humphrey Bogart sort of playing the role, and some of the way that the music is used, the way that the case is kind of structured and built, the way detective is characterized, and his manner of speaking, and all those things just fit really well into a film noir kind of story. Bob Hoskins is really great as the lead. Even his name, Eddie Valiant, is a very film noir kind of name, and he has this wounded past behind him, the reason why he doesn't want to work with the Toons anymore, the reason why he's bitter. I think there's a little bit more to his character than you might typically see in some of these kinds of stories. So it's interesting because his brother was killed by a Toon, and so he's very bitter about that, and has a hard time, forgiving all Toons because of it. And so that really works for this kind of story and this kind of world. And then of course you have him getting drawn into this world. So the head of the cartoon studios hires Eddie to look into what is bothering his big star Roger Rabbit, and why he's not giving the performances that he thinks he deserves. And to start off the film, you get this little almost short between Baby Herman and Roger Rabbit, and it is so brilliant the way that it uses the slapstick. It's just classic kind of entertainment that we typically don't see anymore in animated shorts or animated films, and I really enjoy that kind of film, and so that kind of humor, and so I think it is just executed so well. The reason why I thought of it is that I feel like that Baby Herman is kind of similar to the Boss Baby, and that's coming out, and so I thought it'd be just kind of a funny way of kind of tipping my hat to trying to have fun with this upcoming train wreck of a baby looking, at least the movie that looks like a real train wreck. I thought I'd talk about a good baby movie that has a good kind of harsh talking baby in it, whatever. So I thought of Baby Herman. And so that's really brilliant in this opening sequence. And so then you see Eddie meet Roger, and he has to show Roger these photographs that he's taken of his wife, Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit is a really actually interesting character in this film. She's one that's really easy to dismiss when you first see her, because she's just like a sex pot, she's just a, whatever, a pinup. But there's actually a little bit more to her. Her and Roger's relationship is so odd, and so like you would never put these two together, but yet they really do love each other, and they're just like, both of them are devastated at the idea of their marriage falling apart and their marriage not working. And so I think that adds sort of a layer of unpredictability to the film. Anyway, he is able to catch these pictures of Jessica playing patty cake with the head of the Acme Corporation, and so they're literally playing patty cake, which is, I think, kind of funny. It's not like, it's sort of an entendre, I guess. And so Roger is, of course, devastated by this, and then something happens where Roger gets accused of murder, and so then he's sort of on the run, and Eddie kind of becomes involved with kind of hiding Roger, and trying to figure out how involved Jessica is, and putting all the pieces together. And all of that just works really well. I think all the characters are fleshed out enough, are interesting enough to make it really work. And you have the judge, played by Christopher Lloyd, who is great in this very, very creepy performance. He has this dip that is going to destroy, that can destroy Toons and kill Toons. And so that's very effectively done. And the main reason I think this is such an achievement is just the combination of live action and animation. And when you see Bob Hoskins wrestling with Roger, when you see him like pushing him underwater, when you see him, it is so flawless. You would almost believe that it was real, that it was really there. It's pretty remarkable the way that they're able to do that. And also, of course, you have to talk about the combining of all of these different studios film characters in ways that we never thought that could possibly happen in a million years. I don't know how they pulled it off, I don't know how they did it, but oh boy am I glad. I mean, this is the equivalent of them combining the X-Men, the Avengers, and the Justice League all in the same movie. I mean, that's how like epic kind of for an animation fan this really is. To the first scene that's just like a delight is to see Daffy and Donald playing piano together, and oh, it's so good.
Does anybody understand what this duck is saying? But you are despicable. This is the last time I work with someone with a speech impediment. This means war.
The next really special scene is when you see Mickey and Bugs Bunny together in a sort of a parachute kind of a scene, sort of joke. It's so good.
Me, what's up, Doc? Jumping without a parachute? Kinda dangerous, ain't it?
Yeah, you could get killed, huh?
You guys got a spare?
Bugs does.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I don't think you want it.
I do. Give it to me.
Gee, better let him have it, Bugs.
Okay, Doc. Whatever you say. Here's the spare.
Thank you.
All kinds of characters that we know and love. You have like characters like Droopy Dog, and Woody the Woodpecker shows up, and just a ton of characters. You have the Hanna-Barbera characters, you have the Looney Tunes characters, Disney characters. There's a great little scene where you see Dumbo in the window. I love that scene. There's just so many great characters. Betty Boop you see, the everything that you could ever want in an animated film. And so I just love it. It's a joy to watch. It's such a fun movie. It's such a masterfully made movie. I think the performances all work. I think the only downside to this movie is that it does have those non-family elements that make it made me kind of wonder, like, should I recommend this as a family movie night? I don't really like Jessica's song. I think it's just too much. It's too sex potty, too sexy. And so if I was a fan, if I was a mom showing this to my kids, I would definitely fast forward that song. Other intense moments with the dip and the judge, and also some sort of more sort of sexy moments with Jessica and some other things. And there's some definitely crude and sort of violent moments and stuff. And so, I don't know, it's one of those movies that you just kind of have to gauge the maturity of your child. And if you think that they can handle it, then I think it's okay. It just depends on the kid and the age and everything going into it. It's certainly okay for teenagers, I think. And it's just such a joy to watch. And it's something that I don't think we'll ever achieve again, this kind of meshing of all these different brands and all these different iconic characters. The only thing close to this that we kind of have now is, in a way, it's sort of the Lego movie is kind of close to it in the sense that they managed to bring together all these different properties because they were all part of Lego. And so it has a little bit of that kind of a feel to it in some ways. So you could have Star Wars and Batman and whatever all in the same movie. So anyway, let me know what you think of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Is it a favorite of yours? What is your opinion on it? And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!